We are approaching Christmas, and tonight we look at a true crime. How a man on Christmas Eve night dressed as Santa Claus killed 9 people and injured 3 others. Armed with handguns and a flamethrower, here are the events as they happened. On Christmas Eve 2008, a man dressed as Santa Claus knocked on the door of a family home, much to the delight of an 8-year-old girl. But things took a horrifying turn. Joseph Ortega had been playing a late-night game of Texas Hold'em with his wife of 53 years at their home in California. After a Christmas Eve dinner, their grandchildren had been playing video games and hanging out near the pool in the back garden the night of the brutal killings. Upstairs, 17-year-old grandson Michael was sitting at his computer when there was a knock at the door. The young girl happily cried, "Santa Claus, Santa Claus." Upon hearing the knocking, she opened the door to find a man dressed as Santa, complete with an enormous present, which contained a homemade flamethrower. Just seconds later, Santa pulled 2 handguns from his festive trousers and shot the young girl. 2 of her uncles fell to the ground wounded, as the Ortegas and 3 of their daughters, including the Santa gunman's ex-wife, dived under the dining table for cover. But it proved to be a futile attempt to escape the gunman. The Ortegas, 4 of their children, 2 daughter-in-laws, and a teenager, Michael, who had been sitting at the computer, all died at the hands of the killer Santa Claus, Bruce Jeffrey Pardo. There were around 23 to 30 people celebrating Christmas Eve with the Ortegas on that fateful night. And though the survivors have not spoken publicly about their ordeal, law enforcement sources close to the investigation confirm many of the descriptions from relatives, saying they provided the clearest picture of what happened inside the house. According to relatives, one of the Ortega's sons, Charles, recognised Pardo after the gunman shot his 8-year-old niece and older brother, James. At least one person is reported to have cried, "It's Bruce." Charles Ortega was shot after his brother James. First cousin, Emilia Chapa Ortega, who lived in Mexico, said the brother struggled to get up after being wounded. She said even bloodied, they got up, they stood up, they tried to grab him and stop him, but they couldn't. After shooting indiscriminately at partygoers, Pardo unwrapped the present, containing the homemade flamethrower, and used it to spray racing fuel gasoline and set the home ablaze. 9 people were either killed by gunfire or flames, and 3 others are wounded. The victims include Pardo's ex-wife, Sylvia Ortega Pardo, who was 43 years old, her mother Alicia Ortega, who was 70, and father Joseph Ortega, who was 80. Sylvia's brother, 49-year-old Charles Ortega, and his wife Cherry Ortega, who was 45 years old, were also killed, with her other brother James, who was 51, and his wife Teresa, who was 52. Sylvia's sister Alicia Ortega Ortez, 46, and her son Michael Ortez, who was 17 years old, were also killed. Little Katrina was the first one shot in the face and left with severe but non-life-threatening injuries. A 16-year-old girl was shot and wounded in the back, and a 20-year-old woman suffered a broken ankle after jumping out the second-floor window. One survivor escaped and ran to a neighbour's house, where they called the police. The blaze set by Pardo soared to around 40 to 50 feet high and took 80 firefighters an hour and a half to put it out. The intensity of the fire meant the victims had to be identified using dental and medical records. After carrying out his brutal attack, Pardo changed his regular clothes and drove his rental car to his brother's house, around 30 miles away. He was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It was initially believed that Pardo planned to flee to Canada on a flight he had bought a ticket for on Air Canada. Though it was later discovered the flight was from Los Angeles to Moline, Illinois, with a layover in Minnesota. Investigators were unsure if he intended to go or if the flight was simply to fool investigators. However, after suffering severe third-degree burns on his arms from the fire, Pardo seemed to go against that initial plan. Police found £17,000 in cash wrapped to his body with clingy film. His rental car, which was parked a block from his brother's house, had been rigged by remnants of his Santa suit that would ignite and detonate the car with black powder if removed. Authorities also found 4 13-round capacity handguns, which were each empty, and at least 200 rounds of ammunition from the scene, believing a setup in the car to be a bomb threat. A bomb squad fired an incendiary device into it, destroying the vehicle. Pardo's murderous festive rampage was triggered by his divorce from Sylvia. One reason their marriage had reportedly fallen apart after Sylvia discovered her husband had a secret disabled child who he had cut all ties with. Another was that Pardo refused to open a joint bank account with Sylvia and expected his wife to use their own finances to take care of their own 3 children. In June 2008, a divorce court ordered Pardo to pay $1,800 a month in spousal support. During proceedings, Pardo is said to have confided in a friend, saying his wife was taking him to the cleaners. In July, Pardo was fired from his job as an electrical engineer at ITT Electronic Systems Radar Systems for billing false hours, and the court suspended spousal support payments due to his employment hardship. It was revealed Pardo had also planned to kill his own mother after the massacre at the Ortegos' home, due to apparent sympathy with Sylvia during the divorce proceedings. He wanted to kill everyone, even his own mum, said Chapa Ortega. A monster. A monster. That man was a monster. He killed good, hard-working people who had many friends.